Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Market Wrap. So I am back in Philly. I went home early last week to celebrate my wife's birthday, spent a few days at home with all the boys. It was so nice to have a full house. My Giants have basically shut it down for the season, but Max's basketball started last weekend. Fairfield Prep came out with a big win, and I'll be heading home tomorrow and staying through New Year's. So next week, I'll be back in Connecticut for Market Wrap. So 3 watches we love this week, and the first one is an unusual one. It's an Audemars, but not your typical Audemars. It's the 26393 BC, the code 1159. Now this is probably my favorite code. It's a piece that has really grown on me. It's the Chronograph, it's a black dial, it's white gold. This is a great value for APs. Now the codes got panned when they originally came out, but I think people are starting to really appreciate the model. Now the second piece is a Rolex, the 116520, classic Daytona, black dial, steel bezel. It's a full set. I think these are going to become more and more sought after as the ceramic prices continue to go through the roof. And the last piece, but certainly not the least, is a Jaeger, the Polaris Memovox. Now I think Jaeger makes the best mechanical alarms in the market. I love the vintage look of the Polaris version. We don't see a lot of these coming through, so I expect it will not last long. So as the year comes to an end, it's always a good time to reflect back and take a fresh look at where the market has gone. I always like looking at where our customers are shopping. So we pulled a list of the top viewed watches on Watchbox for the month of December, and I thought it might be fun to review them all. So now we're going to start with number 5, and number 5 is a Rolex, and a vintage one. Now we don't do a huge amount of vintage here, but this is a 5513 classic no date sub, but with a twist. So in red, it's actually signed Hafez al-Assad. Now not only was he the dictator of Syria for 21 years, but a big Rolex collector. And this is truly a rare piece. You don't see these hit the market very often, and it's great to see this much interest in it. So at number 4 is another Rolex, and this is the 116506 Platinum Daytona. Now this piece went from being an overlooked Daytona to a rare collectible in just 18 months. Now many people believe this model will be discontinued in 2022, so we'll just have to wait till March to find out. Now number 3 on our list is an Audemars, and it's the first one that hits the top 5. It's the 26239 BC, the Royal Oak Chrono. Now this particular one is in frosted gold with a black dial. Now if you have not seen frosted finish in real life, it's truly an amazing piece. The market is definitely at a frenzy level on this one. I'm not surprised this is definitely in the top 5. Now on number 2, we jump back to Rolex, but this one's a little bit of a surprise to me. It's the 16610, now just a classic sub date. Now granted, it's full set, it was in great condition, but it's amazing to me that just a plain Jane steel sub can garner this much attention in the watch market today. Now the number 1 piece on our list, it has no surprise here for anyone. It's the Nautilus, the 5711 1A, blue dial. Now that Tiffany dial was hitting the market, the crazy results in the auction, it's no surprise that everybody's focusing on Nautilus. Now what we're trying to figure out, and what most people are trying to figure out, is what the right numbers are on these pieces. Now we know that Nautiluses went crazy in the auction. They've spiked in the last few weeks. We don't know how long it'll hold at this level, whether it continue to run. I believe it'll back down a little bit in 2022, but I've been wrong on Nautilus before. So one of my favorite pastimes is trying to find values in this crazy market. So our next segment is my favorite section, the MVPs, or Manjos Value Plays. Now everybody knows that Lange is my favorite brand, and one of my favorite complications is the time zone, or Zeitzone as it was originally called. Now the particular piece that we have today is the 116031. It's a rose gold black dial made in 2006 for Sincere, and only 30 pieces were made. Now it's a piece I've never seen in the market before. It's just gorgeous. I love everything about it. I love rose gold. I love black dials. And with a 30-piece limited edition that's priced the same as the current production model, I think it's a great buy long term. Now my second piece is a Tudor. Now yes, Tudor gets overlooked quite a bit, and it's grown tremendously over the past couple of years. But the current pieces do trade over retail, but I like the looks of this Grantour Flyback chrono. It's a great 2-register chrono. It's got a touch of red, a cool minute track. Similar Omegas trade at crazy levels, and this is a piece that's readily available and under 5K. Now my third pick is a Patek Philippe, and I know we've spoken a number of times over the last few months about how I really think Patek is a value in the market today, and this particular piece is my favorite complication, the Perpetual Chrono, the 5270G. Now this version is one of the most controversial versions because it's the chin, and when they first introduced it, it had this chin at the tachometer scale. The internet really panned it, and within the next 2 years, Patek discontinued it, which means there are very few chins that really hit the market, so it's super rare. It trades under the original retail, and I think it's one of the coolest pieces there is. Now, everybody loves Perpetual Chronos. The history goes back. I think the 5270 is greatly underappreciated. I love the chin. It's definitely a piece to buy and hold. And my last pick is one of the most underrated brands, Vacheron Constantin. The 3110V is a triple calendar, but in steel. It has a great vintage look, great lugs. I love the aesthetic. It's a beautiful piece. And for under 20K is a great value from an iconic maker. I think they're going to discontinue this in the short term. I think long term, this is a piece that's definitely going to go up. So this market wrap will be dropping on Christmas Day, and I just wanted to say to all my loyal fans, my critics, my friends, and family, I hope Santa brought you everything you wanted. I hope you get to spend quality time with your loved ones, and from our family here at Watchbox, to all of you, a very Merry Christmas.